Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to talk about Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard is on a losing streak. She will continue to lose actually this week because LoriLightfoot is coming out with her report. So we have several things to discuss about Tiffany Henyard, and it's unfortunate her demise or her political career has came to an end, and I'm saying it's already to an end because she was thrown off the ballot last week. The judge actually ruled in the caucus favor, and also she received several L's. So we'll further discuss that. Also, Donald Trump is making some initiatives, some executive orders against DEI. He is saying DEI is pretty racist. It's a racist policy. So he's putting out executive orders for all companies to end their DEI initiatives. Okay, so we'll further discuss that. And lastly, we are going to talk about ICE. ICE has been busy. If you don't know what ICE is, this is the immigration enforcement, officers that goes around and make sure that you have legal status in the United States. And they have been on the move, deporting several individuals to their original countries if they're over here illegal. So we'll further discuss that. So that's all on today's episode of Business Talks. You guys stay tuned. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. That's right. You guys put it in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. Please put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. I see we have, let's see who we have in the building. Oh, hey, Justin Thompson. Justin Thompson, is always great to see you. Happy Monday to everyone. Unbroken Angel, thank you for tuning in. You guys, Justin and Unbroken Angel, I really appreciate you guys. Jim C., Celeste Hodges. If you don't know, I do another show on my other YouTube channel. It's called Unpopular Opinion. I do have a co-host on that channel. And we are scheduled to go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so tune into that channel. And we talk about trending topics. Sometimes we get into politics, whatever's going on in out there in the world. We're talking about it. Okay, so you guys make sure you tune in. Jerry K. Lipscomb. Good afternoon to you, Jerry. Alonzo Moore, howdy from South Carolina. I see we have Gary Williams in the building from LA, California. Hydro Shock, love Trump, saving tax dollars. Yes, me too. Lexi is in the building. Thank you for tuning in, Lexi. Shout out to all my moderators. You guys always do a good job. I really appreciate I don't know what I was about to say. I appreciate you. Mausista. I think that's Ice Baby. Ice Baby. That is, Ice is on the move. Kathy tuning in from Virginia. I see we have Debbie from Dalton tuning in. I guess Dalton resident for 47 years. That is a long time. Rachel Ellis, thank you for tuning in from Minnesota. Love your show, Chawanne. Thank you very much. Made in Texas. Texas is in that building. Thank you for tuning in. We have Revy Jones, Cincinnati, Ohio is in the building. And if I miss you, charge it to my head and not my heart. I think I got everybody. You guys continue to put it in the chat. Where you're viewing from, it does help me with the YouTube algorithm. I changed my my office. I wish I could show you. Maybe I'll show you my quote unquote studio one of these days. Maybe I'll make that subscription based if you guys are subscribed. So I now I can see myself on the monitor to make sure that, when you guys you lose me from the screen, now I will actually see it if I'm actually not on the screen or not. So anyway, let's get started and talk. Our first subject of the hour is Tiffany Henyard. And Tiffany, she's been on a losing streak, like I mentioned before. And I'm pretty sure if anyone knows Tiffany personally, they're probably having a hard time maybe keeping her in good spirits because she's just been losing on all fronts. And can we blame uh, can we blame Tiffany for losing? Yes, we can. We absolutely can because she's always filing frivolous lawsuits, number one. Okay. All the lawsuits that she's filed, they've all been frivolous. And this is my point of view. You guys might think differently, but in my point of view, they've always been frivolous. And then she's always um making these proclamations and making false statements and claims either to the news media, which she just start going on interviews because she's trying to garner the public support, and also when she is on during a township meeting or the village of Dalton meeting, when she gets on her soapbox, she start basically spreading lies and misinformation. So you really can't um, feel sorry for Tiffany because I think she brought this on herself. Okay. This first story, and you guys already know this. So later on tonight, Tiffany, um, and I can't say it's just Tiffany. We could say Lori Lightfoot will release the findings on Dalton Mayor's alleged misuse of funds. Okay, this is the plan for.
We're going to find out more about Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and how she spent her funds very soon. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot and her new officer will be releasing the findings of their investigation into the Dalton mayor on Monday. Lightfoot has spent the past months looking into the mayor's spending spree, including costly trips to Las Vegas last year that were on the taxpayers' dime.
Okay, so meeting is supposed to start. You guys put in the chat. I want to make sure you can hear me. This meeting is supposed to start tonight at I believe 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. I believe that's when the meeting is scheduled for. And this is a normal board meeting, I believe. Will Tiffany Henyard show up? No, she's not going to show up. She's not going to show up for any report that's going to talk about her. So you might as well get that out of your head. She's not going to show up. But I'm pretty sure the residents are going to show up because this is anticipated and they've been waiting a long time since last summer to find whether or not, or not whether or not, we know she's misused funds, how bad it is. So we know Dalton Village is already $6 million in debt. They're just trying to see how far does the rabbit hole gets. And so I believe after this report and the news media release it to the public, the hands of the FBI will be tied because they're going to be looking at like, okay, we found that that she misused funds and is totally illegal after Lori Lightfoot reveals this investigation, um, or the findings of her investigation. So what's the problem, FBI? Why aren't you initiating an arrest on Tiffany Henyard and the people that co-conspired with her? So they can't say, oh, we didn't have enough evidence. You have the evidence right there. Okay, so I would like to see Tiffany Henyard, and if the findings finds that or reveals that Tiffany Henyard was acting illegally and in Dalton Village and Thornton Township, I would like to see Tiffany get arrested. I'm pretty sure the residents would like to see Tiffany get arrested because she was doing these things intentionally. It's not like she didn't know. Oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. No, she did these things intentionally, and she didn't give a shit how much the residents cried or the trustees warned her or reprimand her about her spending. She didn't give a shit. So therefore, why should we even care if she get arrested? Okay. Anyway, moving forward. So the next story about Tiffany Henyard. This next story is you have Tiffany Henyard is in contempt of courts over liquor license dispute. Now, I just want to refresh your memory on this, okay? This is a refresher. I did a story about this. When did this come out? Let me look at my old channel. This had to be maybe last year, mid last year, probably around May. Let me see. Oh yeah, I put this was published May 16th on my channel, okay? So what I'm getting at is this story has a background to it. It's not just Tiffany showing up and saying, "Oh, I'm not going to release this liquor license." And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this story, but this is what Trustee Belcher actually revealed in the May meeting. Okay.
Where I am the liquor commissioner. He said,
okay, I don't want to start it right there. Okay. You guys put it in the chat. I want to make sure you could hear this video.
May 3rd, we received the email from Bert, Costanza, and Carberry, which says that we owe them $4,501.27. They've been requesting this since August 23rd, August 28th, 2023. We once again get here. I don't recall them being on the warrant list. So there's an issue that we pick and choose who we're putting on the warrant list, who we're not putting on the warrant list. What really drew my concern was that someone sent us an email and then we actually spoke to this person on the phone. And the email reads, "Thanks for your call this morning. Per our conversation, see the attached. This engineering firm was hired and has a proposal signed by Mr. Freeman. His invoice number is 1092. He is saying that we owe him $7,482. So, of course, I asked what was it in reference to. Until such time, these items are addressed by architect on record. Now, I'm concerned because the man keep calling about his money and it's never been on the warrant list. But I'm more concerned that beautiful big building at 15022 is not structurally sound because there's a 12-page report that says there are all these issues. So my question, and this is discussion, is somebody please call this man about his $7,000, which I don't understand why the owner would not be paying for this. Where I am the liquor commissioner, and with lesbian, we don't need all them liquor stores and liquor establishments. We got over 40.
So Tiffany claims she's the liquor commissioner over this building, or not over the building, over the town. And this is a true statement. Tiffany is the liquor commissioner. Okay, so she could stop any liquor license if she wants to. She could initiate any liquor license if she wants to. Upon the board approval, okay? She must get the board approval. She can't just issue out anything. But sounds like Tiffany just been doing her own thing. But I do want to point out, so this same building that's in question that the judge held her in contempt for not issuing the liquor license. This is the same building Trustee Belcher identified that the township was paying, I guess, inspections or engineering documentation for the building that the Dalton Village does not own, and they was billing the township. Okay, I don't know if that's ever been rectified. I need to contact probably Belcher to see if it's ever been rectified, but that's what this comes from. Now, you see, this is a picture of Tiffany. Let me go get past my talking because I want to get to where Tiffany is saying, hey, you know, she's championing this building. Okay. She's like promoting this building, like this building is, she's like an investor of this building. She went to the ribbon cutting ceremony, the groundbreaking ceremony, which is not odd. It's not odd for a mayor to attend a groundbreaking ceremony if, you know, a business is actually building in their city. But what it is odd is for a city to be paying engineering inspections and things of that nature that have to do with the building being erected without the board approval. Through the village. Another thing that I revealed, if you guys want to look at this video, because I'm not going to play the whole video, but another thing I did reveal in this video is that, okay, the lady that the lady and the husband and wife that owns this particular building or broke on this ground, Tiffany's boyfriend used to own the land. So they purchased the land from Kamal Woods. Okay. Kamal Woods, I don't know how he acquired the land. Okay. Apparently he acquired the land probably through the land bank for really cheap or inexpensive. And he sold this land, particular land, to this investment group, which is the husband and wife. Okay, and they own another liquor emporium in Dalton Village. Okay, so that's another thing. So you guys, I put that link in the chat. So if you want to view the whole video, you can. But this is Tiffany in this at one point, you know, giving out a tour.
Special shout out to St. Patrick and his woman Tiff. Yeah, she got the same name as me, Tiff. Hey, they doing a doggone thing out here in our village. I appreciate the love and support from the business district. They are developing their very own sit-down restaurant in Dalton, y'all, in Dalton. I'm gonna take you on a tour really quick just so you can see the progress that's happening. Because you know, with all the mess that be going on, they never tell you about the great things that we actually provide in our village, which is economic development. I want to show y'all my business background as it relates to bringing things like this to our community where our residents will benefit from it by tax dollars going on the tax roll. Check that out. Tim, where you at? St. Patrick, where you at? I gotta brag on y'all. Brag on them. And they minority. Look at this. Minority owned black business right here in the village of Dalton. This is Tiff right here. Tiffany, you know I say Tiff because that's my name. So you know we Tiff. St. Patrick right here, and it's called St. Patrick, just like Power guys. So, but not with all the other mess, but just like Power. So we're gonna take you through. It's gonna be a see-through glass, top tier building right here. And and you can come and rent it. They're gonna have a banquet hall / restaurant, and it's 3 levels. So we're gonna walk through and we're gonna show you what they do. Right now it's under construction. They'll be opening hopefully of June of next year. May or June of next year. That's how I know. But we ready. We ready. We ready. Come on.
All the love that Tiffany showed this individual or this couple saying, oh, we ready, and she trying to skirt through or sneak through the bills of the engineering. Maybe she was trying to, and I'm assuming, this is what I'm assuming. Tiffany and Kamal wanted ends on or dibs in this development. They wanted some type of ownership. And maybe Tiffany and her husband caught wind like, oh, I don't know if we want to do business with her because they seem pretty shady. Or not even that. They just trying to strong arm me to put 10 or some type of percentage ownership in her business, and they didn't want that. They just had to work with the mayor to get with the, their license and actually to get the approval to actually build on the site. But so Tiffany's, I'm just assuming, you guys, this is just an assumption. Tiffany probably switched up on them, tried to strong arm them. And then since the relationship soured, since she never issued the liquor license, she just tried to shut down their plans. This is Tiffany Henyard. She likes to shit on American dreams. That's Tiffany for you. Just want to play this part.
Lincoln is not our property to my knowledge.
Minute you get the pulling liquor license, because they talk about business license, liquor license, where I am the liquor commissioner.
So why would we be paying a bill for $7,482?
You put in a restaurant, event space, so you got a banquet, a party, an event, you turning 60, you traveling. Please come, contact Tim and Patrick.
I'm gonna have my 75th at that place.
I do know that as being a village that we do have to go through proper protocols and we don't have certified people to do this. But after reading, it says my email to the engineer on record on 11/21/2023 indicating our findings and concern with the request for missing information or corrected drawings to be sent. A letter of our architect indicating numerous deficient items I highlighted for some of your review. The letter of our mechanical engineer indicating deficiency in items for your review. Again, we strongly recommend the construction stop immediately.
They never did stop the construction, you guys, okay? To my knowledge, they never did stop the construction. They're going to court to get that liquor license initiated. But as it stands, the village of Dalton, this is what I'm thinking. I'm an engineer. If you guys don't know, I'm an engineer by trade, okay? I don't have my professional engineering license, but I practiced engineering for about 7 years. And some of the things that we practiced was just structural, but mainly project management. That was my forte, if you want to, or my specialty. Project management, environmental engineering, and a lot of times we had to do with structural management. Not only that, is when I developed my store, I sell window treatments. So when I developed my store, I had to get an architectural and a PE license on the architectural drawing. We sent it over to the city. The city will have their own PE, approve the drawings, and then we could initiate construction. And each phase of the construction, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, whatever it was, whatever phase that you had in that drawing that you was either redoing or implementing or erecting, you had to get a person out there to inspect before you go to the next phase. So what it sounds like, since Dalton Village doesn't have a full service engineering department, they have to seek out other probably larger cities that have those type of building departments with a certified engineer or professional engineer to make sure that buildings or whatever construction that's being done in Dalton is doing it safely and lawfully, right? And lawfully comes with the safety thing. And I hear there's been several OSHA violations called on the building. And I'm not trying to throw shade onto these owners, but we don't know if all of this stuff has ever been rectified. I think the problem is, and it's not the board of trustees' fault. I think since Dalton Village has been grossly mismanaged, we don't know. We don't even know if that building is safe. So I think, no one's ever addressed these issues. And so for the public, and if I was part of Dalton Village, they should be asking the trustees, hey, what happened with the engineering approval for that building? Did that ever get rectified? Did some engineers or whoever they contract out to, did they ever get the approval for them to have a certificate of occupancy? Did they address the delinquency or the findings of the mechanical drawings and the foundational or structural type drawings? Did that ever get rectified? Because if it didn't, they possibly could be getting themselves in another situation, in a dangerous one, in that, because you're opening it up to a public and the building is not stable, structurally sound. You guys put in the chat, let me know what you think. So I just wanted to give you guys a background of this building. Now, like I said, I believe Tiffany, she had her fangs out or her teeth out, want to seek, because she loves money. She went crazy over money. I think she was trying to get in on this deal, and the Patricks, or what's his name, St. Patrick and Tiffany, the other Tiffany, they did not want to deal with her, and she got mad. So she was like, okay, I'm going to hold your liquor license. Okay. So now Tiffany, let me just go back to Tiffany was held in contempt because she tried to talk circles to the judge. So they held her in contempt.
Up to 2 days when used for the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura in adults.
And while this, let me make sure you guys could see this. I hate this. This commercial is the longest commercial ever.
Tech is right for you.
Developing tonight in the south suburbs, more controversy involving Tiffany Henyard.
The Dalton mayor held in contempt of court this morning in a case over liquor licenses. WGN's Chawanne Burns has the latest.
Well, the attorney for the owners of this restaurant here behind us say they believe Henyard didn't sign those liquor licenses for personal reasons, even though it was her job to do it. Their months-long fight came to a head this morning when a judge found Henyard in contempt. Attorneys for the owners of this 3-story restaurant and banquet hall, St. Patrick's, say the business will finally be able to open after a judge found Mayor and Liquor Control Commissioner Tiffany Henyard in contempt and forced her to sign the liquor licenses she'd allegedly been stonewalling for months.
It's been a challenge, to put it mildly, but it's really shouldn't be so difficult. This is an ordinary event to get liquor licenses issued.
Attorney Adrian Vukovich sued on behalf of the restaurant's owners back in August. He says Henyard repeatedly promised to issue the licenses the village board already approved, but she didn't. She made that promise again in open court on Wednesday And when those licenses still weren't signed Thursday, all parties were back in court for a hearing Friday morning. Henyard showing up half an hour late.
The judge asked the mayor, will you sign these licenses? And instead of signing them or answering the judge directly, she, began talking in circles. And so that's when the judge made a determination of what's called indirect criminal contempt.
Meaning the judge found her disrespectful to the court's authority. Henyard signed 2 of the 3 licenses under threat of another finding of contempt.
It's serious. It's not something that anybody should want to happen, let alone a public official.
It's up to the judge to determine what punishment Henyard could face. The restaurant owners are still pursuing that 3rd liquor license. They're also pursuing sanctions and damages. We've reached out to Henyard's attorney for comment on this contempt finding and have not heard back.
You're not going to hear back from her because Tiffany, right now, she's punching the air. Like I said, Tiffany, she's received L's of what, 3-4 times last week. This is including this last one. And she's going to continue to receive L's because Tiffany, her days are numbered. She's gone. She's out of here. So that's it about Tiffany Henyard. Remember, you guys, this evening, I'm pretty sure, I think all in the queue, that's super producer. She said she will be actually at the meeting. So tune in to her. And I believe the Dalton trustees, they'll probably be going live on their channel as well. So make sure you stay up to date with that information. And of course, we'll probably be talking about it tomorrow. I'm not for sure if I'm going to be able to go live tonight to view that. It all depends on what's on my schedule because I got a lot of stuff going on right now. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about that. I see Beth is saying, I'm sure the mayor wanted kickbacks. Yeah, she probably did. Carrington, I feel for the people of Dalton and Thornton Township. I sure do. Valerie is saying she said she bought ice at Amazon for the skating rink. LOL, where the receipt. Tony is saying the owner said they placed $5 million into the property. Yeah, I could see that. When I looked, you could actually look to see if you got a lien against the property, and that's probably what the construction was. So I could see that because, it's a 3-story building. So yeah, they probably placed a lot of money in there. Carrington is saying, who voted this asshole in? Justin Thompson, normally the new owner of the property have to do the survey before the sale. The city is not required to pay for the licensed surveyor. Yes, but surveyor is just for the property boundaries, to see if it's structurally sound or engineering type of work. That should be done prior because when you take a property over, you could say, oh, let me evaluate to see if you passed all your inspections, but that should be already completed. The certificate of occupancy. Now, this is different because Dalton does not have a building engineering department. They do have a building department to issue permits, but it's different when there's a separate entity when you have a full-time engineer on staff and they actually have to inspect for structural stuff. That's totally different than surveying. Surveying is just to see if it's in the property boundaries and all that stuff for the sale, and then they'll issue out a title. And then if there's a problem with the title, then they go off the survey, So I'm not for sure. I don't think they planning to sell the building. Now they probably will have to do a phase 1 environmental report if they refinance it and get out the construction loan, because typically a construction loan, they have higher interest rates than a regular mortgage property. So I'm assuming that they'll probably have to do an environmental phase engineering report on top of, whatever they did to get a new loan. But I just don't know if the inspections, or if they have had proper inspections. We could say that. We got our engineering drawing approved, but who's going out to inspect the actual building? Those two separate things. Yeah, the PE approved our drawing. They had some discrepancies in the drawing. That's what Kiana Belcher revealed. Okay, they approved the drawing, but you still have to erect it per the drawing. And that's what the inspectors will come out to see, if you actually erected the drawing or the building per the drawing. If they use this gauge of steel versus what they had in the build, on the drawing, that's a problem. Or certain rivets to hold the beams and stuff up. Oh, they didn't use the right gauge of steel with the rivets to hold the beams up. They didn't drive the beams down deep enough, that kind of thing. So it's all questionable. You hope that this was done, but I'm questioning if it was done, only because, based off Kiana Belcher, what she said, that the drawings wasn't even right. It has some deficiencies in it. So anyway, William is saying, hold the license so they can't back the building loan, then get behind the taxes so Kamal can sweep in and take and hold of the property behind closed doors with Lil Stank. That's probably what they do, trying to do. Hey, I can't refinance because I can't get a liquor license. I can't open it. And she could also stop their certificate of occupancy. You got approval, say for instance, they did take care of the engineering part, the drawings, and it was erected properly, and they inspected on all levels, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural. All that was approved on the site. And then, hey, one stoppage was the liquor license. Oh, okay. We'll let you have the liquor license, but we're not going to issue a certificate of occupancy. That's Tiffany's department. All she needs to do is call in the building department. No, don't issue them a COA. Then she still won't be able to open. Then they will be behind in their loan, right? Behind in their loan, and the loan will be taken over or put up on, auctioned off. They'll foreclose on their construction loan. That takes a long time, though. But it is January. They're planning to open in, I think they said, March of this year, right? Valerie is saying Tiffany owes her for all the months delayed by her. Beth William, that is a theory. That is a great theory, though. That's a great theory. Wyoming gal, dang, I didn't get the notification I'm late. Well, you could catch us on the replay. Shanita Lanier, all of this for what? She is just evil. Wyoming is saying the township meeting, or not the township, but Dalton meeting for LoriLightfoot's findings is at 6 o'clock. Is that 6 o'clock Central Standard Time or 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time? 4 on the West Coast. I remember when she was bragging about being 25-0. No, not anymore. she 0-25 because has she won any of her court dates since that last, the last one where they tried to overturn her vote or tried to boot her out of the mayor? That was a few years ago, and they said the judge actually ruled in her favor because some technical discrepancies. CEO Mimi is saying Tiffany was there when they broke ground. They must have stopped donating to her campaign. Exactly. She is still trying to strong arm people, knowing that the FBI investigating her. How dumb is she? You got to be the dumbest person on the planet. Williams is saying as long as their engineering stamp on the blueprints, they have to abide by those plans unless part has been revised by the engineer. Still has to be a stamp with the changes, exactly. And when they're doing their inspection, when they can come out and to inspect, they're going to look at the plans to see, oh, they didn't build per these blueprints. So, but like I said, the problem is they don't have an engineering department, a real engineering department in Dalton. So who's doing the inspection for the building? I'm not for sure. Maybe I just don't know. I don't know when the last time the village of Dalton actually had a building erected in that. So I mean, who is over that? Who's overseeing that portion of that department? I think they do, because when they were talking about building some type of road, they did have another engineering person coming in to talk about how much money they spent and what was going on that particular project. So I'm assuming that they have, the people to make sure that is being followed, but I'm not for sure. I'm quite unclear, because if Tiffany had her hands in it, Tiffany likes to cut corners. So I'm not for sure. But an engineer, I'm telling you, an engineer is not going to, because you could lose your professional engineering license cutting corners. So I mean, it could be very detrimental to your career. You'll never practice engineering again if you're just listening to Tiffany. So I highly doubt that would happen. But who's doing it? I don't know what the process is. They never really came back to address that situation. The restaurant may not have a final inspection. TT has no insurance, but people are using the building. This makes no sense. Yeah. Anyway, so you guys, like I said, put in the chat, let me know what you think. We're going to go to our next story. I only have about 20 more minutes to talk about these next two stories. Trump has reinstated.
All right, straight to a Fox News alert. President Donald Trump delivering on yet another.
You guys make sure you could hear this video.
The campaign promise, officially reinstating thousands of U.S. service members discharged for not getting the COVID vaccine, and they get full back pay.
Madeline Rivera is in Washington with all the details for us. Hey, Maddie.
Hi, guys. Good morning. The White House says this redress is long overdue, calling the dismissal of military members who refused the COVID vaccine wrongful. Like you mentioned, Brian, this new executive order given exclusively to our Peter Doocy this morning directs Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to reinstate all members of the military who were discharged for rejecting the COVID vaccine, and they will receive full pay and benefits. President Trump mentioned this pledge just a week ago in his inauguration speech. The COVID vaccine was required for U.S. military service members for 15 months from August 2021 to January 2023. At the time, former Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby called the mandate to get the vaccines a readiness issue. 8,400 service members were discharged for not getting the COVID vaccine. In January 2023, former Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin rescinded the mandate. It was the first time in U.S. history the military reversed a vaccine mandate. But only dozens of those who were discharged chose to return to the military. Republicans have argued the mandate hurt the military's recruiting and retention capabilities. Last year, Austin touted the military's retention rates and stated nearly all active and reserve components of the military met their recruiting targets for the 2024 fiscal year. But the military had acknowledged it had a recruiting crisis just the year before, and the mandate was a political headache for the Biden administration, with some troops suing, calling the order illegal. Later this hour, Florida Congressman Brian Mast will be joining Fox and Friends, and he will have reaction to this new executive order from President Trump. Lauren, Steve Ainsley, and Brian.
Thank you very much, Maddie. I'm sure Brian Mast is going to be delighted. Donald Trump ran on this. This is just another thing. I don't know if they've got in the West Wing somewhere a great big chalkboard or something like that, like last time where they check stuff off. Here's something else he promised, and 1 week into his administration, check that off.
The argument was these are military men and women. They're some of our strongest individuals in our country, and many of them had natural immunity. So the argument for Trump was, these are our military. They're willing to sacrifice their lives to fight for our country, and we're going to kick out 8,000 of them because they won't get a vaccine?
Yeah, 8,000 go out. Get this, too. Remember the exemption? Wouldn't honor the religious exemption on the vaccine? Only last time when they lifted and said you can come back now without a vaccine, only 43 went back. But now that they say you can go back with full pay, full rank, and back pay, I think that's excellent. The other thing, Lawrence, is that President Biden never talked about recruiting. Nope. Austin never talked about recruiting. But until I read the story, I didn't realize people on the outside go, I'm not signing up for that. Yeah. How many people said, I'm not going to even go in the recruiting office. I'm not taking the shot.
Brian, it's like you read my mind. Just from a logical standpoint, why would you get rid of servicemen and women when we're at a deficit right now when it comes to recruitment? It's like we don't have the room to be getting rid of service members. We should be getting more. And it just seems to me that they were such into the Fauci nonsense and some of the stuff that was coming from the FDA and some of the other organizations. There are certain people that had national immunity. Yeah. There are certain people, especially when you're talking about young people that were healthy as well, talking about service members, I think they could have
Some women wanted to get pregnant. They didn't feel comfortable getting it. Right. And I think that the bottom line is most of the people who decided not to get a vaccine are Republicans, and they like Donald Trump. I think it was a political move. And they were our government was forcing us to put something in our body that some people weren't comfortable with.
And the main difference is the mandate. Trump said, yeah, I got you warp speed.
I don't know if the majority of the people that didn't agree with the vaccine was Republicans. I know a lot of Black folks don't like you telling them you came up with the vaccine hours before you released it. I mean, literally hours. We could say days before you actually released it to say, oh, it's approved. It's safe for the public to take. It's like, okay. And we go back to our history. We looked at the Tuskegee Airmen when you put syphilis in people's body. And then the young lady that they took her stem cells to test, when she had her baby. I forget what the lady's name, but all the things the horrific things that were done to Black folks as far as testing on them. So we're real skeptical about it. So I don't know if that has to do with being a Republican or not, but I do know they did heavily politicize this vaccine. Okay. You had some people whining that another person did not take the vaccine. And when you did take the vaccine, it didn't make sense. How can one person's health affect your health if you're vaccinated? If the vaccine worked, you're pretty much safe, right? But the problem is that the public, or not the public, but Fauci, they didn't have a lot of information, and they just was trying to lie to the public, and I guess to restore panic, or stop panic, and to say that, oh, this vaccine and wear a mask, this is all going to help you, when in reality, they didn't know themselves. And coming to find out, it doesn't work. Anytime you got to take a booster every 6-7 months to make sure you don't get COVID, but you still get COVID, we could say the vaccine is not effective. Okay, so I'm glad that he restored these military personnel back to, their original rank. and also giving them back pay because they was treated unfairly. You know, you're going to fire somebody because they didn't want to put some poison in their body because you like literally just started testing on it. You didn't even do no test. You just said, "Oh yeah, it's ready for public use." Operation, what they call it, Operation Warp Speed. To me, it was really ridiculous. So anyway, so that's with the vaccine with the military men. Now you have Donald Trump also, he's taken the initiative. He inks, this is the title, inks a new executive orders today banning transgender service men or women. Why this is, oh, okay. Maybe it's one of those things. Let me just give you a quick synopsis of it. It says service members, military DEI program. So he signed a executive order to ban transgenders and the DEI programs in the military. And it says that they lay out military standards on pronouns, gender identity, and directly prohibit thousands of transgender service members from the military, citing issues with mental and physical readiness. I do agree. I totally agree with this because I think transgenderism is a mental condition because, and they actually admit to this. Transgenderism is you have body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is a mental disease. So if you have a mental disease, are you mentally capable of fulfilling your duties to protect the United States of America? This is just a random question. Or a rhetorical question. You could guys, and it doesn't have to be rhetorical. You could put it in chat. If you have body dysmorphia, which is looked as, and it's a diagnosis as a mental disorder, are you mentally able to fulfill your duties as a military service person? Just a question. You guys put in the chat. Let me know what you think. Robin Rice saying it's also been alleged repeatedly by other business owners in Dalton that Tiff is holding back on the licenses of any businesses that's not supporting her. Robin, you're right. Yeah, we talked about that a while back. Lenny Malley saying Dr. Fauci was doing gain on a function. Research still back when the boys at the lacrosse team got accused of R-ing the girl and they never did. She finally admitted to. Yeah. Celeste Hodges is saying, yes, they need serious help. And no, they are not. Beth said, I took the jab in 2021, but the COVID August 1, or got COVID August 1, I was very sick, but I recovered. I was tired and weak after COVID. Yeah, you probably had long COVID. I hear people get that and it lingers on for quite some time. I had a friend of mine, she had COVID, and I can't remember if she actually took the vaccine or she took the vaccine afterwards. And she said she had symptoms for about 5 or 6 months. She couldn't get rid of this cough that she had. So it affects other people differently. But if you're like really healthy and younger people, I think my kids had COVID. I never really tested them, but they were complaints about headaches and stuff. So I just assumed they had COVID, but it didn't affect them. I had COVID. My husband had COVID. I stayed in my guest bedroom and it lasted for about a week. I didn't get sick. I just was tired. I slept all day. I didn't really eat or anything like that. I wasn't really hungry. And then after I got rid of my COVID symptoms, I didn't get nothing, no lung type of issues. I just was tired and I sweat a lot. after, you know, all the things said and done, you know how you get a cold and you don't eat, and then after a couple of days after you feel better, you're weak. I wasn't even weak. I just drunk a lot of juice, a lot of orange juice and stuff like that. I stayed hydrated, but I didn't really, you know, get like, you know, some people said they got COVID in the chest and they couldn't breathe. I didn't get those type of problems, but I know it affected people differently. Flawed beautifully. Transgenders cost the military millions in health care alone. As a USMC veteran, I always was against don't ask, don't tell. Thank you, Lexi. Please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah, so the service members are being reinstated. Donald Trump is banning transgenders and the DEI initiatives that they put forth in the military. Another question I would like to ask people, you know, because people are really upset about this DEI thing, but, you know, particularly in the military, I really don't like to discuss what's going out, you know, in these other countries, because I do feel differently about the DEI mandates in private organizations, because I think it's all a hoax. I really do. I think it's just, oh, I'm DEI, shop with us. Yeah, that's a bunch of bull crap. But anyway, but with the military, I do have a strong belief that military DEI, why in the hell would you have some type of military we're going to hire more or recruit more women, recruit more transgenders, and recruit more gays, and you're here to protect us. Bullets are not gay. They don't discriminate. The enemy, you know, if we because we do have enemies out there, they don't discriminate. If you're an American soldier and you were likely to become a prisoner of war, they're not going to discriminate and say, oh, we're not going to capture this person because they're a woman. No, they are capturing all Americans. So DEI, I believe, definitely does not have any place in the military. You should get the strongest, the brightest, the physical should be the ones that we recruit in our military, because they are the ones that are actually protecting the United States. And a lot of people get mad at Donald Trump, especially when he said, hey, put Liz Cheney on the front line. She's only talking this shit because she's up there writing all these laws and putting these actions in place, because she's not in the front line. She doesn't have to take the bullets. So you're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna you know, make it more woman friendly. I don't give a damn if it's a dog, as long as he could operate a gun and he knows how to sniff out IUDs or EIDs or whatever they're called. I don't care, as long as they're trained and they're able to perform their job. Because if they're not, we're more likely to have little or not little, but major deficiencies in our defense system. Lenny Malley is saying that's why Tennessee still will not release the IGBTQ manifesto or LGBTQ manifesto, because it says them to kill all Christians. Dewana is saying, no, you're absolutely unable to perform your duties. The military should be strong people. Yeah, Strong people. Like I said, I don't care if you're a man, woman, a dog. They do have dog military service dogs. And they sniff out the bombs and stuff. We don't care as long as you protect us. And we should support them. Because without these men and women doing what they're supposed to be doing and putting their life on the line, we wouldn't even be here. Anyway. So, speaking of DEI, it's saying more DEI fallout. Air Force scraps course that use videos of Tuskegee Airmen and female WW2 pilots. I think people are getting to like, oh my God, they're scrapping their videos. To me, this is AP news. I think this is like propaganda. Oh, they're taking out their videos of female pilots. Come on now, stop it with the madness. that has nothing to do with DEI. Oh, they use female pilots. Okay, like what does, or the black men? What does that have to do with anything? You know, when people, focus on so much on race, it's just like, oh, we're just going to make everything about race. Everything about race. So on this AP story, I'm telling you, AP is propaganda anyway. And this is by Tara Kopp. Is it Kopp? Or yeah, Kopp. She's saying the Air Force has removed training courses with videos of its storied Tuskegee Airmen and Women Air Force Service pilots, or WASPs, the Women World War II pilots who were vital in ferrying warplanes for the military. These women were pilots way before DEI came along. This is why you guys got to read between the lines. They say a bunch of bullshit that doesn't have one thing to do with the other. To comply with Trump's administration crackdown on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I wish somebody will fact check this, because I think this is a bunch of bullshit that she's saying. The videos was shown to the Air Force troops as part of a DEI courses. Okay, well, yeah, the course is no longer available, so why would we show it? Oh, there were women pilots back in World War II. Okay. Are we saying that we need to educate people on pilots? Just add it to something that you know in your training. The history of pilots. It has nothing to do with DEI. In the statement, the Air Force confirmed that the courses with those videos have been removed. This is what I'm saying. The whole course was removed. If DEI was removed, the whole course was removed. It will fully execute and implement all directives outlined in executive orders issued by the president, ensuring that they are carried out the utmost professionalism, efficiency, and alignment with the national security objectives. The problem may not be with the historical videos themselves, but that they were used in Air Force basic military training DEI coursework. This is why AP News really suck. Like, this is just a whole stupid article. Just say no, the course was removed. We no longer teach about DEI and force it down people's throat. We're not going to do that. Are you trying to teach people and the change it different? Are you saying, oh, we need to teach people about the history of the Air Force? Okay, that's totally different. But to say, oh, we're going to have this DEI coursework because we're trying to have some sensitivity training is stupid. However, lack of clear guidance has sent the Air Force and other agencies scrambling to take the broadest approach to what content is removed to make sure that they're in compliance. I think this woman is a nut job that wrote that. I really do. No more DEI. Okay, we have DEI courses. Okay, no, we're not going to have a DEI department. What's so hard about that? She acts as if you got to tell people, oh, we can't talk about this Black person because it's part of DEI. No, that is not what they're trying to achieve here. You see how nutty people are over this DEI. It makes no sense is what she's saying here. I'm trying to comprehend. What are you saying? No more DEI. There's no more DEI initiative. That means we don't have a DEI department. We're not taking sensitivity training on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're not doing that. Hey, we're all one. We're Air Force, men, women alike, Black, white, Chinese, Hawaiian, wherever you come from, Hispanic, wherever you come from. We're all one. We're one body. We're the Air Force. Anyway, so she goes on about the history of the Tuskegee Airmen. Did they put in, if you want to get, anyway, I was going to say something crazy, but there you have it, folks. Okay. I'm not going to talk about it. Breeze, it says the military is not there to protect you. The conflicts that we get involved are due to Wall Street bankers and politicians, families like the Rothschilds. In other words, it's a business. I think they're here to protect me. They're here to protect America. Well, but the entrance are you saying the entrance comes from business, oil, Wall Street, bankers? Yeah, we could say it's all over money, but how come America's never been invaded? Because we have a great military. So in other words, they still protect me. I mean, the cause of war probably has nothing to do with me, but America's never been invaded because we have a great military. Christy, hello from Kalamazoo. Thank you for tuning in. You are my neighbor. I thought a judge reversal Biden's pardon for Fauci and fam because they hadn't been convicted of a crime. Yeah, I'm not sure. DEI is not history. Exactly. Like, Donald, how long DEI been around? It's new. DEI is new. DEI is just one of those things that they came out with. Probably I seen it maybe 2012. I think it came around, maybe 2010. But I remember getting hired in. I worked at a petroleum company, and then they started really talking about DEI heavily, and then we went to training about DEI. I told you this story before. And some of the white people was like, well, do you mind getting called African American or Black? And one of the ladies was like, don't call me Black. I like to be, because Black could be, I guess racist. And I'm like, okay, what do you call me? Nigga? Like, come on, what are you talking about here? So they hated me in that whole. And I was a Democrat then, but I just couldn't think what else would you have if they didn't know my name and they was trying to describe me? It's either African American or Black. Are you offended by both? Some people are, but I'm not. So why are you mad that somebody used the word Black? They didn't say yo black ass. They said that black ass girl. No, they just said the Black girl from such and such. Why are you mad about that? But anyway, so DEI, Donald, I would say about maybe 10, 15 years, probably at the most, but affirmative action been, way before that. DEI only it only helps, I believe, white women and LGBTQ. And if you a white woman in the chat, no offense, but I think that's what it truly helps. It doesn't really help anybody. But according to Costco's, it only helps Hispanics. You guys, if you don't follow me on my X channel, you need to follow me on my X channel. And reason why I'm saying that is because of this next story. I only got like 5 more minutes, but this is hilarious, guys. This next story, Al Sharpton had to take to the streets because Donald Trump DEI initiative. So Al Sharpton was like, "Oh no, I'm going to make sure we are boycotting all these stores." So he goes out and says, I'm about to buy 1,000 gift cards, $25 gift cards from Costco's. And they're saying is backfiring on them because, some conservatives are saying, oh no, we're going to start boycotting Costco's. But I wish what's his name? Al Sharpton will actually look at DEI or the Costco's hiring demographics. Okay. Because he did. If you look at Costco's hiring demographics, it proves that Costco's is just as racist as any other company that says they don't have DEI initiatives. And I don't think DEI stops racism. I think we're magnifying racism than making it more than what it is. But I tend to think, hey, if I'm in a job and my people are applying for the job, I'm going to tend to look out for my people. And I think this Costco reflects this same type of mentality. I'm looking out for my people. Hey, job, my next door neighbor applied for a job. I'm looking out for him. My husband's brother applied for the job. I'm looking out for him. Then they call me, oh, we got so-and-so, my cousin, they need a job. As long as they come to work, yeah, they'll, I'll hire them because I know them. I think that's the way it really works. Now, if we're talking about like the hiring managers, or not the hiring managers, but the top CEO people, now we got more women in these top positions, even though they probably, did they get their job because of DEI? Maybe not. I'm not for sure. I like to think that women are really good at managing companies. Look at Ford. Don't they have a or no, Ford has a male manager, CEO, but we can't use that. That's a really bad example because GM, I think her name is Mara. Look at her. But they gave her a bunch of crap because they had record profits, and she got a big cut, bonus, and they were claiming that they didn't get a bonus. But anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Costco's workforce, and this is their diversity statistics, is saying that is 55.7% male and 44.3% female. And they're saying that 45.8% is white, 30.8% is Latino, Hispanic. What does that tell you? Costco It's prejudice. Costco is racist as hell. They hiring all the Hispanics because this totally does not reflect the population of the United States. So can we say that? So no, but no, we can't say that. But if you look at this, you see that 31.8% Hispanics hold the Costco jobs. Now, are they high paying jobs? I don't know. It doesn't break that down. And then as far as diversity, for African Americans or Black, they're saying Costco is number 10, probably one of the worst for hiring African Americans or Black. But you had Al Sharpton, this fool, saying, oh, we gonna, support, we gonna double down support on this DEI, this fake DEI initiative. I told you I think DEI is a scam. They just want to say, oh, we're supporting the Black and brown community because of George Floyd. No, it's a scam. They're just saying that so you can shop there and get a membership. They don't know. They don't support. No, hey, if you're not buying and if you're stealing from them, if you're, they tend to have, their pool, their hiring pool. If they tend to do better with Hispanic candidates versus Black candidates, they're probably going to hire Hispanic candidates. If they tend to do good with white candidates versus Black candidates, they're probably going to hire white people. Is that racist? No, I don't think it's racist. I just don't think it's racist. You guys might be mad at me. I don't think it's racist. I'm just thinking like they're looking out for their best interests, or their pool, their hiring pool. Maybe they don't got a lot of people applying for this particular job. So it's just based off of their hiring pool. Are you going to look out, if you was a hiring manager, would you look out for your own people? Probably so. You probably make sure all your people is working and got a job because Costco's probably got some good benefits. As long as you show up to work, yeah, I'll hire you. Now, if you mess up, I'll fire you. I'll be the first one to fire you. But yeah, I'm not going to not hire you. You guys let me know in the chat. Al Sharpton, maybe he didn't look up Costco's record of hiring people. Anyway, that was it for today. That was it for today. As the mighty Japanese man once said, "Fear we have woken a mighty giant. There's is a gun behind every blade of grass." Exactly. Lenny Molly is saying Donald Trump has just executed DEI. Yeah, I don't think it has any place. I think it's just one of those things, just a waste of time and waste of resources. It doesn't move anybody closer to, I guess they're trying to find the great place of utopia. I'm not for sure what they're trying to achieve, but I think it's just a hoax, a DEI hoax for a company to say, "Oh, look, we see you and we hear you." Yeah, right. That's why Target shut down all their stores in the Black neighborhoods. That's why Walmart is leaving, because of theft. They don't support you no more than you stealing from them, and they shouldn't. It's a business. They should be focusing in to get, hey, I have these type of employees. If you show up to work on time, if you're a good talent, I'm going to hire you. But I'm definitely not going to be in the neighborhood that you guys are always stealing from me. DEI actually was killing itself before Donald Trump came around, because all these stores saying, "Oh, we're going to make a commitment to the community." Yeah, right. They got a wake-up call, because that community is going to steal you out of a profit. A big wake-up call. And you want to boycott them because they don't want to stay there to get stolen from. I just don't understand it. Anyway, you guys put in the chat. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Tomorrow we're going on at the same time, 12:30. And we'll be, of course, reviewing Tiffany Henyard stuff. So I'm sending all my good to you. I will see you tomorrow.